Well, by now we've all seen it. And if not, I don't feel bad. Here's my spoiler review of the Stranger Things finale. I just regret that I didn't see this in theaters. I was back home for Christmas. I'm in my small country hometown. Yeah. They weren't showing it, so I had to wait. Then my wife and I got sick, so I waited an extra week. But here we are. So was this finale worth the buildup of 10 years? Did it meet expectations? Well, at the very least, at this point, I can tell you a lot more went on than the last 3 episodes. Those were like duds. I mean, I didn't dislike them, but there wasn't much content. Does anybody else agree? As for the finale, I love the balance as always between just being pretty dark, but also ending very heartwarming. As far as the dark goes, I mean, when Eleven makes that soldier shoot himself in the face, that's like probably one of the worst ways to go. Just your life flashing before your eyes and then a bullet flashing into your eyes. I also love that they gave more to Vecna's backstory. You know, they try to make him relatable, showing how this young, innocent Boy Scout of a kid was screwed from the beginning. Between that rock and the trauma of getting shot and just being controlled by the Mind Flayer. Controlled. It's somewhat relatable, though I've never gone through that experience myself. But was he redeemable? No, he was not, and thank goodness. I'm so tired of them making so many villains redeemable in media nowadays. He's definitely not redeemable, and as he says, he made his choice to team up with the Mind Flayer. He's just a straight villain. I also really liked the final battle. I mean, having a giant kaiju in the movie, that was pretty sweet. And I liked how it tied back to all the seasons of this shadow figure, or in the 3rd season when all the human corpses become this spider thing. It's all based off the Mind Flayer, this giant, once again, spider thing. Though, as many people have said, I was disappointed with how short it was. But what I did get between Vecna and the Mind Flayer fighting Eleven and the Hawkins squad, it was pretty good. But the one thing I just don't understand, were the Demogorgons taking a nap? What? Are they out watching the premiere? I was expecting an army of Demogorgon dogs and flying things and demi-dogs to come charging in. So that's one of my biggest complaints. This other one isn't really a complaint, but I kind of wish they would have gone this route. When they realized the world was going to end and combine with this alien world, I get Eleven didn't need to come out to the military and say, hey, will you help me? Because, you know, they would have instantly captured her and maybe been gone. But why don't some of the other characters come to the military, make a compelling argument as the soldiers are all pointing their guns, they explain what's going on. And you know the whole mantra of the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Team up. It would have been so dope to have the main team fighting the Mind Flayer, Eleven's in there fighting Vecna, because, you know, John Connor's mom doesn't want the world to die, so she probably wants her soldiers to go help stop whatever's happening. I get maybe they wouldn't believe it, but just put it in the movie, make it make sense why she'd believe them, and that would have been sick.
That was totally wicked!
You know, they're off fighting, the Hawkins kids are fighting the Mind Flayer, Eleven's fighting Vecna, and the soldiers is fighting the army of Demogorgons coming. And I guess they need to make the Demogorgons weak again since 3 or 4 took out their whole base. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Just my thoughts. The other thing I'm so irritated about, do you remember that credit card or whatever commercial on Netflix? It showed Nancy talking to someone saying, we need this, we need that, we need flamethrowers. And then it cuts to this scene of her with a flamethrower hitting a bunch of Demogorgons and the demi-dragon bird things. And I was like, I can't wait for that scene. Well, that scene never came. That's all I wanted. To see Nancy with a flamethrower taking on an army of Demogorgons. Oh, we also get our first F-bomb of the series. Literally like 10 minutes before this moment, I was telling my wife and friend, you know, I appreciate that this wasn't one of those shows that decided to throw the F-bomb in every sentence. Because that gets pretty old. But man, when Winona Ryder comes out and says the F-bomb and cuts off Vecna's head, that is a well-placed F-bomb, and I approve. I also loved how this episode pulled at your heartstrings. There were so many moments that just felt, man, that's rough, but I feel happy sad right now. You know, that happy sad? It's sad, but it's meaningful. One of my favorites was when Elle is talking to Hopper and he's finally realizing she's not an adult, but she's growing up. She's going to make her decision. And Hopper just looks so sad, knowing he's probably going to lose another daughter. I thought this moment was way more powerful than Mike and Elle's little interaction. That was still good, but Hopper really sold it. Though there's another scene equally powerful, if not more, but we'll get to that in a sec. When they beat the Mind Flayer, I saw there was 58 minutes left or so, and I'm thinking, we're only barely over halfway through and they already beat the villain? So then I'm like, okay, you know, the military's still there. Maybe there's going to be something big with that. But then that went by in like 10 minutes. So I'm sitting here going, we have a little over 40 minutes left and they've won. Like, what are we going to do with all this time? But this was such a good move, and I did not realize it in the moment until I watched all of it. So many movies and shows, the heroes win, then there's like a 5 or 10 minute ending, if that. This gave us closure to everything. We see the younger generation graduate, and then we see the older generation finding happiness. I guess we didn't see the one conspiracy semi-truck driving dude that was helping them. I don't think we did. Where's his happy ending, actually? Another frustrating thing was the mind flare in the rock, and not that it was a terrible thing. It was good. It made things make more sense, but I'm also like, why is this random rock here? What's the backstory? And obviously, they're not going to have time to do that. But my frustration was quickly swept away because they announced they're doing a spinoff to explain all that. Some sort of prequel, so that's awesome. And then I also think not all the characters that survived needed to survive. I'm happy in a way that they did, but I thought at least one, maybe two other people were going to die. And not everybody needs to die to make it good. Actually, I take that back. In a way, Eleven's kind of gone, and that was the focus. So they did a good job with that. My two favorite moments of the epilogue that were so good and just really hit me was when Mike's playing D&D and they don't like how it ended. So he tells the story of the mage and it's symbolically 11. That was awesome. And I know a lot of people are frustrated at the Duffer Brothers not letting us know for sure if 11's alive or not, but up to the viewer's discretion. But I don't think they would have included that if she wasn't. And that was sad because you wish they knew and that she was there, but also more, I don't know if realistic's the right word, but impactful. When Steve and Nancy and the gang are on top of the roof at the radio station and they're just talking, they're saying, no matter what happens, what jobs we have, what relationships, etc., kids, let's all make an effort to meet every year. And that's something a lot of adults don't do. People forget what it's like to have friendships that are meaningful. They get caught up in their lives. And yes, your family's your priority, but friends can also be like family, and it's important to keep those that you love close to you. I've never met an old person that says, man, I wish I had cut off contact with my close friends. It's usually, I wish I had spent more time with my family and friends. So this ending was just, I thought it was amazing. Very impactful. But what about you, Stranger Things fans? Did you like the ending? What do you wish you would have seen? What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the bathroom next time. Have a good start to 2026.